What is up, Magic Card YouTube? We got some banged up boxes. We're doing some cleaning and these gotta go. But you know what they say, the denim ones are the lucky ones, and we're gonna do some Lost Caverns of Ixalan draft boosters. An awesome set. Dinosaurs, craziness. So yeah, we're just gonna get right into it and rip through some packs here. Yeah, don't often do too many draft boosters, and I haven't been doing many videos lately, but again, just some extra time cleaning, and we've got a whole bunch to go through. So hopefully those packs aren't too dinged up. You can see they're a little flummoxed there from probably being lovingly drop kicked and shipping. So we'll find out what we're working with here in just a moment. That one corner got biffed up pretty good, so we will find out. But yeah, just a nice day opening some packs. So yeah, still a great set. You know, big standard rotation. This one got dinged up in that over there. So all right. So we got a whole lot of packs here. We'll just kind of do this, do that. I think we'll start with our two columns that were busted up first. And as always, let's start with our box topper. So yeah, I hope you're good out there. If you're getting a chance to watch this and the world's treating you well, let's see. This is where you get your uncommon Colossus Hammer. Not a bad one. Actually, that's kind of cool. Some people like it. Not a foil though, so it's like not really much there. Let's see what else we get. Our little box topper. Wow, both are Colossus Hammer and uncommon non-foil. Interesting. Those are from the same case too, so that's a little interesting. But let's get into it. Yeah, it won't linger too much. I mean, there might be a common or an uncommon here that's worth a few, but otherwise we're just gonna fly right to our mythics there. So tokens, because those get their own box. Ooh, a little foil rare, not bad. And there's our other rare, Souls of the Lost. And commons, uncommons. So these are the new order of things. Beautiful art in this set though. I mean, I say that a lot in my videos, but you'll start to see just some, I really appreciate the great art design. Those cards feel good too, well printed, even though they came out of some busted boxes. So, whoop, as I bonk the camera here, we're gonna go quickly. Double side token, that thing's pretty jacked. Beautiful lands, we keep those. Ooh, Roaming Throne in the showcase, so very nice hit there. Really, really good stuff. Yeah, that's fantastic. Uncommons. Huh, did that have 4 uncommons? Because of the showcase card? Contested Game Ball? Yeah, interesting. Draft pack. Man, draft packs have changed a lot. And I'm putting those in the wrong stack. Oh well, we'll sort it all out later. It's all gonna go in the same. It's all gonna go in the same bulk spot. But yeah, beautiful clean cards. These look great. Let's just keep going. But showcase Roaming Throne. Very nice. Here's our bat token. That one fared much better than the last one. A land slot there. Hidden Courtyard. Echoing Deeps. You know, I don't know if Echoing Deeps has really seen much play. Caves are pretty fun. I know people are running Spelunking, but other than that, oh, so there are 4 uncommons now in a draft pack. Interesting. Really don't need those to be separate anymore. We'll just sort it out later. We'll keep rocking and rolling. Here we go. There's our land. Foil Synapse Necromage. Bedrock Tortoise. You know, I thought this might be a fun card. Each creature you control with toughness greater than a power, you know, maybe a commander dollar rare, but that card is worth nothing. That is a big nothing burger. I'll have to look through later. I think Spelunking is the uncommon, or the non-rare that you want. It's good old Spelunking. Here we go. Promising Vein. It's a very promising vein. You have there the braided net at rare. Don't think we care too much about braided net. Nope. And there we go. Keeping our eye out for spelunking. Really cool art on that roaming throne. There's a gnome token, beautiful token. Hidden Cataract. Abuelo's Awakening. Don't really think that means much for us there. And there we go, through it all. All right. Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how this set shapes up as things move forward. Beautiful land, Whale of the Forgotten. I don't think that does anything much either. Fun little Descend card though, pretty cool. And there we are. All right. So far, pretty quiet little draft box opening. The Roaming Throne is the big hit, so Cavern of Souls is what else we're looking for, and maybe something else. Who knows? The Ancient One. It's another mythic there. Descend 8, the Ancient One can't attack or block unless there are 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard. And then for 4, draw a card, then discard a card. When you discard a card this way, target player mills equal to the card value. So pretty easy to get your Descend there in an Ancient One deck, but he is just an 8/8 for 2. Don't know how much you really want to invest in making that happen. Probably a lot of fun for limited. Like, seems possible if you get some good recovery. Man, those tokens got whacked pretty good. The rest of the cards are holding on okay. Poetic Ingenuity. Whenever one or more dinosaurs you control attack, create that many treasure tokens. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, make a dinosaur token. You know, this isn't too bad for dinosaurs. They don't really want to cast too many artifacts, but making treasures whenever your dinosaurs attack on 3 doesn't seem too bad. I wonder if that gets run in like Commander Dinosaur builds. Bid offerings, no spelunking. All right. That kind of jacked up. Hidden Volcano, nice. Another mythic there. Osier of Tuck, Deepest Foundation. It's pretty good. Whenever one or more creature tokens, you'd be created 3 times that many tokens that are created instead. Great little white, multiple token effect. And it's a 6/6 god with vigilance for 6, so pretty nice hit there. That's a nice little mythic. And so far, so good. Don't think we've come across a spelunking yet, which is pretty interesting, but Roaming Throne and Osier Talk are nice. Little token card. Captivating Cave. The Belligerent is our rare here. It's a Izzet vehicle. It's a 5/5. Whenever it attacks, create a treasure token. Until end turn, you may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. That's pretty fun. In the right deck, that seems like a great little creature to include. Izzet vehicles, though, that blue throws you off. But I guess, from white-red to the blue-white in, what is it? The new Kamigawa set. I guess that's where Jeskai vehicles is going to become a thing. Good old Jeskai vehicles, some red, white, and blue there. Double-sided token, beautiful, beautiful tourism lands. Love those. Ooh, and a plains, we got 2 of those. One on our land slot. A Pugnacious Hammerskull. He's green and 2 for 6/6. And when he attacks while you don't control another dinosaur, put a stun counter. So fun for dinosaurs and limited. That's about all I'll say about that guy. Cavern Stomper. All right. On to the next. Let's do the other slightly slammed set of packs here. Boom. Boom. Hidden Courtyard. Ooh, Get Lost. That's a nice card. Good old Get Lost. Very playable. Nice little hit there. Bartolome de Presidio. I love the font that they use on the background of the vampires in these showcase cards. But nothing too crazy. Not many foils so far in this draft box. Great treasure token. Another captivating cave. Treasure map is our rare. 1 and tap, scry 1. Put a landmark counter on treasure map. Then if there are 3 or more landmark counters, remove them. Transform treasure map and make 3 treasure tokens. And when it's transformed, it makes it colorless. Or if you tap it and sacrifice a treasure, you can draw a card. That seems fine. Not quite to the level of the incredibly strong original Ixalan flip lands that were, Tolarian Academy and Gaia's Cradle, but, those were pretty wild. Those were fun to play on Arena, though. Alrighty, got another foil common. Not much to say about that. Cosmium Confluence is green and 4 for a sorcery, and you can choose 3. You can choose the same mode more than once. Search your library for a cave, put it on the battlefield tapped, put 3+1/+1 counters on a cave you control. It becomes a 0/0 elemental with haste, or destroy target enchantment. For 5, putting 3 lands on the battlefield tapped isn't bad, especially if you're like cave matters. I don't know the cave cards too well, so not sure how great that is, but there it is. Fungus, a hidden cataract, another beautiful tourism land. Love those. Polani's Hatcher. Other dinosaurs you control have haste. It's green, red, and 3 for a 5/3. When it enters the battlefield, make 2 0/1 green dinosaur egg tokens. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 1 or more eggs, sacrifice an egg and then create a 3/3 dinosaur token. So nice to get a bunch of dinosaur triggers. I mean, you play this, you're going to create 2 dinosaur eggs, so I believe those get seen by the game as dinosaurs, and then you can sacrifice 1 to make more dinosaurs. They all get hasted, so a fun card, especially if dinosaur ETB matters. That's where you're going to really get the value out of that. Nice creature. Map token. Hidden Volcano token. Restless Anchorage. Love the art on this land. Beautiful, beautiful. These man lands haven't seen much, I think, because the mana is really good, but who knows after the rotation. Maybe when some of these Triomes and Capenna lands leave that we end up seeing those played. Probably not, just because they enter the battlefield tapped, but still, not a bad card. Not a bad card. Man lands used to be the clutch. Like, I played back in the day when Celestial Colonnade was like a finisher. So was Raging Ridgeline. Like, those were closers. Preacher of the Schism, that's another nice hit. Yeah, he's a black and 2 for a 2/4 death touch. He's a vampire and a cleric with both matter. When he attacks, the player with the most life or tied for the most life, you make a vampire token with lifelink. Whenever he attacks while you have the most life, you draw a card and lose a life. So card draw makes vampires. Nice little vampire body, 2/4 death touch. Kind of all around pretty solid creature there. So pretty good. It's a nice little hit. I think we'll put him up here with Get Lost just because that might see some love here. All right. Let's see what else we got. We got a treasure token, a Promising Vein, another Braided Net. I think Promising Vein and Braided Net were together in the other pack we saw. So far, I don't think we've seen any Spelunking, which kind of gives you an idea. I'm not sure if it's a common or uncommon, but we're through about 24 packs and haven't seen it, so gives you an idea of why it's got some price behind it. Deeproot Pilgrimage. Whenever 1 or more non-token merfolk you control become tapped, make a 1/1 blue merfolk token with hexproof. You know what? This is not bad for some of the Kumana decks that tap a bunch of merfolk to get value, because just making a bunch of merfolk to clog the board is great when you're tapping 5 to take free turns and draw cards. So that's a pretty good little guy for some of those merfolk builds. In the presence of greatness. All right. Let's see what else we got. We got a gnome. We got a hidden nursery. We got a Gold Fury Strider. He's just a foil uncommon. We got Vito, Fanatic of Aklazats. He is a mythic vampire legendary creature. He's a vampire and a demon. He's black, white, and 2 for a 4/4 flying. Whenever you sacrifice another permanent, gain 2 life if it's the first time this turn. If it's the second time, each opponent loses 2 life. If it's the third time, make a 4/3 white and black vampire demon with flying. So pretty nice for aristocrats decks, or different token decks. I think even some of the food and treasure decks in green, white, black, white might want this, you know, sort of like Hobbit aristocrats, just because you're going to get a ton of value out of Veto. So that's a fun little mythic there. Nautilus, do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Okay. So far, Cavern Souls and Spelunking are the elusive ones. More punch-out tokens, not bad. We hold on to those. Malcolm. You know, Malcolm is a guy they've printed a few times now. I thought he would become more prominent. Blue and white. He's got flash, he's got flying, and when he deals combat damage to a player, put a chorus counter on it. Draw a card, then discard a card. And then if there are 4 or more, you may cast the discarded card. I mean, that seems really fun. He's not a rogue, which there's not a rogue synergy, and I get that he's kind of small, but flashing him in at the end of play and then attacking like in a deck that wants to descend, he could be a pretty clutch creature. I'm interested to see he's not getting played more. Earthshaker Dreadmaw in the showcase. Nice little uncommon there. And away we go. Still no Spelunking. Clay Fired Bricks in foil. And another Bedrock Tortoise. There's Spelunking. It is an uncommon. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Then you put a land card from your hand on the battlefield. If you put a cave on the battlefield, gain 4 life. Lands you control, enter the battlefield untapped. Pretty good all around. Kind of an Amulet of Vigor effect. Life gain, card draw. Cheap, accessible. Quasi Amulet of Vigor effects. You can see why people like it. That card does a whole lot. And that's a lovely turn 2 play in green. If you have a mana accelerator and you play that card and draw a card, I mean, that's a great setup. Ooh, very nice little showcase mythic. Our next, Ogier Pakpatik, the Deepest Epoch. He's 2 blue and 2 for a 4/3 flying. When you cast an instant spell from your hand, it gains rebound. That's pretty saucy. That would make a fun commander for sure. Cast some huge blue instants with rebound. When he dies, return it to the battlefield tapped and transformed under its owner's control with 3 counters on it. And it becomes a land that is tap, add blue, remove a time counter from it. And then for blue and 2, tap and transform, activate if there's only no time counters. So he also plays into some of the timey-wimey effects decks. So he might be a great add to some of the stuff following like the Doctor Who timey-wimey, like is it suspend trickery type decks, just because he's on color. It'd be easy to manipulate his tokens and flip them, and giving some of your bigger instants in those types of decks rebound would be fantastic, because you can manipulate all your counters and then do it again on the next turn. That seems like a ton of fun. So seems pretty great. Deeproot Pilgrimage, again, it's not bad. Surprised that doesn't see more player value, but I haven't been paying super close attention to Merfolk tech, so maybe it does. Maybe it's just become a nice little dollar pickup for some Merfolk tribal. All right, let's keep rolling. Oop. Hitting a bit of snag there. A bat, a Promising Vein, a Showcase Restless Ridgeline. So that was not Rumbling Ravine, I think then was the one I was thinking of. It's a dinosaur, and yeah, when it attacks, another target attacking creature gets +2/+0, and you can untap it. So that one's not too bad. Still, I don't know if you even, pay to wake it up. I think that's the problem with those man lands these days, is like, are you going to invest that much mana to attack once? You know, man lands were kind of on the border of being valuable, but that was back in the day when, like, you know, OG Zendikar was like much more mid-rangey gameplay, I feel. I could be wrong about that too, but it just felt like at that time, you know, Vampires and Landfall Boros and Red were like the fast deck. You had Jun, which was like the true mid-range beatdown, and then kind of a white-blue Celestial Colonnade deck, right as Jace TMS was getting together, but right before Squadron Hawk and Geist of St. Traft. But Jade Light Spelunker. When it enters the battlefield, explore X times. This card's cool. I think they just almost printed this to prove that, like, Explorer's not as busted this time around, guys. Calm down, because Jade Light Ranger was the truth back in that day. I used to play that on Arena all the time, and even just playing kind of a jank blue and green Merfolk tribal, like Ixalan block deck, I would just win games left and right with that. It was great, and it wasn't very good. Tinker's Tote, a trumpeting Carnosaur. Hey, this guy's not bad. 2 red and 4. Whenever he enters the battlefield, discover 5. And then for red and 2, discard him, and it deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. So turns into a burn spell. He's a 7/6 trample, and he discovers 5. Pretty good little body. Yeah, it's a fine little dino. Look at this guy. He's cute. Firstborn of Jashath. When he enters the battlefield, you may pay 2. And when you do, target dinosaur you control deals damage to it. Hey, that's not bad. For limited, that's a fantastic guy for the dino pickup. Wow. Yeah, that's a great 2-drop or 4-drop in dinos in limited. Tarian's Journal. Tarian. Sacrifice another artifact or creature. Draw a card. Activate only as a sorcery. Discard your hand and you can transform it. You may cast a creature spell from your graveyard this turn. If you do, it enters the battlefield with a finality counter on it, and as a vampire, the Tomb of Aclazotz. Seems fine. Okay. Colossodactyl. 4/5 reach trample for 4. Again, man. Is dinosaurs real in limited? I have not played this set in limited yet, but would be awesome to see. Map, Hidden Nursery, and a Kite Sail Larcenist. He's a human pirate. He's blue and 2, flying ward 1. When he enters the battlefield, for each player, choose up to one other target artifact or creature they control. For as long as it remains on the battlefield, the chosen permanent becomes a treasure artifact. Oh, interesting. That's fun. Turn their thing into a treasure, huh? Hey, Spelunking. That almost redeems the pack. And there we go. Okay, Angel. Beautiful land. Haven't seen one of those in a while. Molten Collapse. I love the art on that. A little foil uncommon. Love this showcase style, like petroglyph. I don't know, Mayan or Aztec Inca. I'm not sure what culture exactly to attribute that to, but it's beautiful. I love the simple lines and beautiful card there. Don't know if Molten Collapse sees much play. Ruin Lurker Bat. Flying lifelink at the beginning of your end step if you descended scry 1. Hey, that's fine for the descenders out there, the dissenters. Okay, let's drop some of these. Here's a gnome. Here's a promising vein. It's quite promising. A pirate hat. At common, a shiny pirate hat. Equipped creatures, whenever they attack, draw a card, equips for 1/1. That's not bad. Another Get Lost. Very nice. Very nice. Put that up there with his brother. Hermetic Nautilus. He's just up in his shell. What's the difference between a Hermetic Nautilus and just a regular? Is there a very socially prominent Nautilus I'm not aware of? Again, these lands rock, don't they? Squirming Emergence. Yikes. Return to the battlefield. Target non-land permanent card with graveyard mana less than an equal number of the permanents in your graveyard. So Fathomless Descent is his thing. Squirming Emergence. Okay, fair enough. Yikes. That's not bad for some mini decks, though, you know? Load the yard and then put the best one back into play, something like that. Mimeoplasm. Aclazotz. Ooh, a foil Aclazotz. You know, we've started to see one-offs of Aclazotz kind of taking a spot right above Sheoldred as a good finisher. Let's take a look at it. 2 black and 3. It's a flying lifelink, and whenever it attacks, each opponent discards a card. For each opponent who can't, you draw a card. Whenever an opponent discards a land, you get a 1/1 flying bat. And whenever Aclazotz dies, return to the battlefield tapped and transformed. It taps for a black, and for black and 2, you can tap it and transform it only if one player has 1 or fewer cards in their hand. So kind of a discard synergy to get it back, but still a 4/4 flying lifelink for 5 that generates card advantage. Not a bad card. Not a bad card at all. Pretty cool. Nice little foil mythic there. Hit for us. Throne of the Grim Captain. Tap it to mill 2 cards, and it costs 2. It's a legendary artifact. Craft with a dinosaur, a merfolk, a pirate, or a vampire for 4. So you can exile this artifact. Exile the 4 from among the permanents you control and or cards in your graveyard. Return this card. And it is a 7/7 Menace Trample Lifelink Hexproof. Whenever the Grim Captain attacks, each opponent sacrifices a non-land permanent. Then you may put an exiled creature card used to craft it onto the battlefield. Huh. That actually seems kind of fun there with the way you're going to manipulate that. Because you can do that with a creature in your graveyard. Yeah, that's kind of fun. I see some fun. Belligerent Yearling, great little card. Whenever it enters the battlefield, you may have it deal its base power. So another little fighting dinosaur, great little showcase guy. Treasure token, beautiful island. Stalactite Stalker. Black, he's Menace, and at the beginning of your end step, if you descended, you can put a +1/+1 counter on him. And sacrifice him, target creature gets -X. So he's like a little utility goblin for Descend in black. That's nice. You know, if we go back to Lorwyn or we see the return of black goblins, that might be a nice little utility goblin. He is a 1/1 Menace who can get bigger and kill something. Galta, ooh, a very nice showcase Galta. That's a nice little mythic for us to rip there. Trample, when Galta, Stampede Tyrant, enters the battlefield, you may put any number of creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield. That is absolutely wild. We'll put that next to our Roaming Throne. Very nice hit there, though. Still pretty low. 2 Spelunking? Yeah. I mean, for an uncommon that you get in 1 per box, we could still probably average a playset. Let's see how we end up here. Hidden Cataract, Restless Reef, Restless. Self-Reflection, nope, no, nothing special there. All right, 26 minutes in, about half. Hopefully we can go a little faster. Hidden Cataract, Ogier, Anok, Axonil, Deepest Might, 2 red and 2, Trample is a 4/4. If a red source you control will deal an amount of non-combat damage less than his power to an opponent, that source deals damage to him, to his power instead whenever he dies. So he's another flip guide, but there's a lot of hype around that guy when he first came out. Pretty nice to get some showcase gods so far. We've done pretty well though. If either of these open a Cavern, I'm going to be pretty happy. This is a pretty great set. I kept my eye on it for a long time. The prices were pretty high. Ooh, foil and a Jishath. So some very nice mythics opening up here. White, green, red, and 5. He's a Nyasaurus. He's Vigilance, Trample, and Haste. And whenever he deals combat damage to a player, reveal that many cards from the top of your library. Put any number of dinosaurs from among them onto the battlefield. So again, another just... Are Jishath and Galta together in the story? Are they... Because they love to just bring dinosaurs out. Look at those guys. They both cost 8. They're both big. And when they show up, so do more dinosaurs. Tithing Blade, Breaches, Eager Pillager. What do we got here? He's a Goblin Pirate, and he costs red and 2, and he's a 3/3 first strike, so pretty beefy Goblin. Whenever a pirate you control attacks, choose one that has been token. Make a treasure, exile target creature, or... Sorry, target creature can't block this turn, or exile the top card of your library, you may play it. You know what? That seems like a really fun mid-power level commander, actually, for, like, pirates. You know, get them down early, you're making all kinds of treasure to play more pirates, or open the door to get through with your pirates unblocked. They have a lot of those rogue abilities, and then also just playing cards from your top deck. Yeah, that seems like a fun little addition to the suite of commanders there. Fun little pirate commander. Captivating Cave, Sanguine Evangelist. Here's another fun one. White and 2, it's got Battle Cry. Whenever this creature attacks, each other attacking creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Whenever it enters the battlefield or dies, make a 1/1 bat, a flying black bat. So makes tokens and rallies. Man, would that just be too good, or right really where we'd be excited if that made other vampires instead of bats? Do you think? What do you think? Promising Vein, Tarian Soul Cleaver. Cost 1. Equipped creature has Vigilance. Whenever another artifact or creature put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on the equipped creature and equip for 2. So I think this is fun in like aristocrat sticks, because if you have a good outlet, I mean, you attack, and if you can get through, that's where you can just sack a bunch of tokens and blast your opponent. I mean, this can kill people. So not a bad little piece of like commander damage tech. There's just spelunking for us. Very nice. Keep your eye on that. Tarian Soul Cleaver. Good little cheap pickup that in certain deck types could absolutely be what you equip to win the game. Dire Flail, the Chain Whirler Goblin's weapon. Equipped creature gets +2/+0, and equip for 1, craft with an artifact. And when you do, its equipped creature gets +3/+0. Whenever it attacks, you may sacrifice an artifact other than Dire Blunderbuss. When you do, this creature deals damage equal to the power to target creature, so you get to shoot something on the way in. Seems a little weak, in my opinion, honestly. I've never been the biggest equipment guy, short of, you know, swords or ones that just win the game. Never been the biggest for me. Hidden Necropolis. There it is. It's hidden. It's an Necropolis. Another roaming throne. So very nice day for us. Very nice. Very nice. And that's all we're going to pay attention to there. So kind of 1 throne per box right now. Not bad for a rare. It's a good little hit. Amalia Benavides Aguirre. Black and white, and it's a 2/2 Vampire Scout. It's got Ward, pay 3 life. Whenever you gain life, it explores, then destroy all other creatures if its power is exactly 20. Yeah, I don't know about that. A lot of hoops. Fun card, cool. Cool of them to make a creature that's like about what its story is. Like for her, it's like, oh, if I become as powerful as like the analog of a player, she sets off this this like cursed vampire explorer. Fun flavor on that card, but that takes me back to what legends were more back in the day, before the sort of like commander mechanic era, of just a creature that was like, this is what they do though. You know, they're kind of vocationally inclined. I think that's really cool. Sentinel of the Nameless City, another green merfolk. Green and 2, vigilance. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, create a map token. Yeah, map tokens aren't too bad. Creatures explore. So 3/4 for 3 though in green with vigilance. So beefy. That's a beefy merfolk for sure. Okay. Here we go. There's the vampire demon that our guy makes. Very nice. Swamp. Malcolm. We've looked at Malcolm today. Rampaging Ceratops. Another vampire demon. Matzalanti. Lantli, the Great Door. Tap and draw a card and discard a card. Transform it for 4. Activate if there are only 4 or more permanent types in your graveyard. Add X mana of any one color, where X is the number of permanents in your graveyard. It's not bad in a Descent deck, really. I don't know if there is a Descent deck per se, but I can see where that piece fits in pretty well. Lets you looter. Lets you generate a ton of mana. So, sets up the synergy and executes. Souls of the Lost. Great name. What do we got? Black and 1. It's a spirit. As an additional cost to cast the spell, discard a card or sacrifice a permanent. Souls of the Lost power is equal to the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. And okay, so it's kind of a Lurgoyf, really. Bummer, it's not a Goyf type. That would have fit right in there. I wonder if they're saving the Goyf type now for Modern, with how big it is in Modern Horizons 3. If they're like, nope, these days if you're a Lurgoyf, captivating. Watley, Poet of Unity, that's our showcase mythic there. Green and 2. When Watley, Poet of Unity, enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, and put it in your hand. For 2 Boros and 3, you can exile it and return it to the battlefield, and it becomes this funky saga. The first one makes 2/3/3 dinosaurs. The second one, creatures you control can tap for Naya. The third one, search your library for a dinosaur, reveal it, and put it in your hand. And then 4, dinosaurs you control gain double strike. So that's a lot of hoops. Again, fun flavor card. Not to be a total hypocrite and tell you like, oh, that's a bummer. I mean, that really tells Watley's story. I think Watley is a super cool character, especially because they didn't just like inject her in the story. I mean, her story is being on Ixalan and doing her things about a nation of like dinosaur people. So it's good to see her Being Left Alone. Jade Light Spelunker. We looked at that before. Kind of a throwback to Jade Light Ranger. Okay, we're getting down here on the home stretch. Thank you for hanging out with me while we do this. It was kind of a long video, but 2 boxes. Another roaming throne. We love to see it. That's a good day. 3 thrones, 2 boxes, and we're not even done yet. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Okay, look at that. As many thrones as we got spelunking. Low-key spelunking are rare. Okay, map. Hidden Volcano. Another Amalia. We looked at her already, so we'll just fly on through. Starting to get to the point where we've seen a lot of the rares in the set. 3 of the gods and Aquazats. Blue, white, and red god. So not bad there. Some tokens for us. A hidden nursery. Warden of the Inner Sky. It costs white. It's a human soldier. As long as Warden of the Inner Sky has 3 or more counters on it, it has flying and vigilance. Tap 3 untapped artifacts and or creatures. Put a +1/+1 counter on it and scry 1. Activate only as a sorcery. Man, not quite. Close, but not quite. That might be good and limited. But that's still a lot of hoops. I'm not sure where you get away with that card. Treasure. Ooh, Promising Vein. Nice little showcase Get Lost. Ooh, that's a foil too. Really love that foil Get Lost. Seen quite a few of those, but a really, really cool card. Great little showcase foil Get Lost. And a mythic. That's a power pack. Sovereign Okenek. Oh, wow. White, green, and 2. He's got Ward 2. He's a cat noble. He's got 3/4. Whenever he attacks, for each creature you control with a power greater than that creature's base power, put a number of +1/+1 counters on that creature equal to the difference. So, say they've got an equipment or an enchantment or a classification, they get a bunch of tokens. So that's a fun card. That'd be a fun commander. You're going to have to jump through some hoops to get it to work, but definitely fun. Okay, Copy Token, Swamp Token, Curator of Sun Creation, Thousand Moons Smithy. 2 white and 2 for another legendary artifact. When it enters the battlefield, create a white gnome soldier artifact token. Its power and toughness are equal to the number of artifacts and or creatures you control. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you may untap 5 untapped artifacts or creatures. If you do, you can transform this into a white land. And whenever you cast an artifact or creature spell using the white mana produced by it, you make another one of those gnomes. So that's not bad. You know, the gnomes matter deck, and the white artificers might like that card. A little pricey, a little slow, but some board presence. I wonder if the Urza deck wants to play that. Magmatic Galleon. 2 red and 3. Whenever it enters the battlefield, it deals 5 damage to target creature an opponent controls. Whenever 1 or more creatures your opponent's control are dealt excess non-combat damage, create a treasure. So not bad. For 5, you can come in, blast something, make a treasure. At that spot, usually though, for red, it's traditionally reserved for a dragon. Bogart and Hellkite and Goldspan Dragon. That is not, unfortunately. Cheap crew though. I guess you could crew up. Still gonna have Summoning Sickness, so not quite. There's a forest. Here's a Starving Revenant. I have not seen this showcase. This is quite a fun one. Look at that. When Starving Revenant enters the battlefield, surveil 2. Then for each card put on top of your library, you draw a card and lose 3 life. Wow, that's steep. Whenever you draw a card, if 8 or more permanent cards are in your graveyard, target opponent. Okay, so you just want to let those go to the yard. It's not bad. It's not great either. Spirit isn't really the tribe you want to be with that color either. So kind of meh. Cool art though. Cool art. Hidden Volcano. Another Malcolm. Malcolm in the middle. We've seen plenty of Malcolm. All right. So the end of box 1 here. Abuelo. So no no Cavernous Souls in that first box. We got 12 more packs. Don't lose hope. Gnome. Mountain. Terror Tide. Fathomless Descent. All creatures get -X, where X is the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. That's pretty good. Sorcery Speed, not great, but decent black board wipe. I guess just play Damnation though. It's about the same. It'll kill an indestructible creature, at least. Beautiful. Forest Abuelo, the Abuelo themselves, Ancestral Echo, blue, white, and 1, flying on ward 2. Exile another target creature or artifact you control, return it to the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step. So nice little blink on a stick effect, actually. That's not bad. Deep Cavern Bat, that's a fine uncommon there. It's quite the fine. Between that and the Mirkwood Bats, you know, bats are where it's at. Okay, bat token. Like I said, bats are where it's at. Captivating Cave. Ooh, foil Trumpeting Carnosaur. Very nice. We like picking up that extra rare when we can get it. A Restless Ridgeline. Restless. Very cool. Careening Minecart. Okay. We're looking for that cavern now. We ripped it on the Roaming Thrones. The Roaming Thrones. Fungus. Hidden Nursery. Oltec Archaeologist, white and 4, that's a foil. And the Brassus Tunnel Grinder, not the card we care to see. Okay, I think there is like a Tunnel Grinder combo out there though, but not today, not for us. Boom, hidden. Subterranean Schooner. This card was worth $1 or $2 around launch. I don't know if it's done anything. Blue-white. Whenever it attacks, return target creature that crewed it this turn, or target creature that crewed it explores. You only crew for 1, so I mean that's a fast, aggressive equipment. Kind of reminds us of some of the other better original vehicles back when they first came out, especially in blue, where a small utility creature can use that to get bigger and sit in back and do their thing, especially if they were more about like an ETB. Boom. Kutzel's Flanker, white and 2, 3/1 flash. When it enters the battlefield, choose 1. Put a +1/+1 counter on it for each creature that left the battlefield this turn into your control. Gain 2 life or exile target player's graveyard. This seems awesome and limited. Great as like play after they blow you out. Great anti-descend creature. Pretty decent body. Like that seems just fine and limited. Okay. Here we go. We got another Gnome token. We got another Swamp. We got a Molten Collapse. We looked at that before. Just some decent removal. Be interesting to see if Molten Collapse ends up in a home here with the rotation coming up and black-red. We'll see. Molten Collapse is like a future card. Quali, the Seething Tower, nice little fungus. The Myco Tyrant, speaking of fungus, there it is, the Mushroom King himself. Green, black, and 1. It's a star trample. The Myco Tyrant's power and toughness are each equal to the number of creatures you control that are fungi and or saplings. And at the beginning of your your end step, make it X 1/1 fungus creature tokens with this creature can't block, where X is the number of times you've descended this turn. Not bad. Not bad. He's the Descend card, but Descending Green's pretty cool. Green, black, gotta like it. Stitcher, Supplier type cards. Maz Atlanti, the Great Door we looked at. Seen all those guys before. Okay, final 3 packs. Do we get the Cavern? There's a map. There's a Hidden Cataract. There's a Queen's Bay Paladin. 2 black and 3. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, return up to 1 target vampire from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. You lose life equal to its mana value. That's just fine. Defossilize. Okay. Let's see more. It's a fungus token. It's a mountain. It's a Daring Discovery and foil. It's a Deep Fathom Echo. Blue, green, and 2. At the beginning of combat on your turn, Deep Fathom Echo explores. You may have it become a copy of another creature. I can see some fun in Merfolk Tribal. Like, that's a commander card, but I could see some definite fun in that for the 4-body becoming, you know, I guess there's not too many great non-legends you'd want it to become. That's probably the problem, but explores. Maybe not. Who knows? Hulking Raptor is what we'll finish up with. It's got Ward 2 and generates 2 green. It's 2 green and 2. Not bad for dinosaurs. They like that ramp. They'll take advantage of that. And that brings us to the end there. So 2 boxes in. Fair bit of bulk. A couple copies of Get Lost, though, isn't too bad. A Preacher of the Schism, a foil Showcase Get Lost, and Trumpeting Carnosaur is pretty nice. Didn't hit too many of those Restless Lands, which is pretty nice for us. 3 Roaming Thrones. And a Showcase Galta, pretty nice there across 2 boxes. That's great. And Myco Tyrant, whatever, Watley, but Jashath, Oyer, an Axonil, a foil Aclazotz, Oyer, Papatique. So 3 of the gods, Aclazotz in foil. So not too shabby, and still Spelunking. So Spelunking showing up just as often as the Roaming Throne. No Cavern of Souls, but thanks for watching, guys, as I rip through some busted up boxes. More to come to the channel, and yeah, have a great day. Thanks. Peace.